When you are at the survival level and you choose to live a life of impact and significance, even at your level of survival, that's what brings you out of survival. That you don't have, but your heart is generous. Now, you don't have money to give, but you have good words. You don't have money to give, but you have time. You don't have words to give, but you have support. Now, as you begin to give what you have, what you don't have will begin to come towards you, because you are now showing that you are qualified to be used. Are you seeing it now? So you see a lot of people, they have money, but they are wicked. They are so poor that all they have is money. I want to start talking to us on generosity. Generosity, a code for kingdom wealth. Generosity, a code for kingdom wealth. It's a month of kingdom wealth, and it's very, very important for us to understand that if we are going to walk in wealth and really be a testimony of the ability of God to raise men, one of the things we need to understand is generosity. Someone say generosity. Now, when it comes to the world that you and I live in, there are three levels of existence in life. Three levels of existence in life, and a lot of people are either operating on one or either of the other two. Number one, the first level of operation and existence that people operate in is what we call the survival level of life. The survival level of life. Abraham Maslow came up with what we call the Maslow's hierarchy of need. And when you do your research to find out what led to what we now call the Maslow's hierarchy of need, you realize that he lived at a time when a lot of people were living a life that was very, very, was like a paradox. And he was confused as to why people behave the way they behave. Many times when we talk about Nigeria, a lot of us only see the bad in Nigeria. But if you go back to the United Kingdom, or you go back to the United States and go and find out how they were when they were 65 years old, you realize that Nigeria is doing well. No, go and do your research by yourself. Go and find out Britain at age 65. Go and find out, do your research. Go and find out America at age 65. Nigeria is 65 years old now, we are complaining. But go back and check how England was when they were 65 years old. How America was when they were not as much as this. They were not as sophisticated as we are now, 65 years of age. That's not an excuse for us to remain the way we are, because we're supposed to leverage on what has happened. I'm just trying to help you understand that many times we see the negative. It was in those times and those seasons that Master was wondering, why do people behave like this? Because when you understand this global way of thinking, it will make you to be grateful at every level that you are in. So as he began to study and do his research, he now realized that the reason why people behave the way they behave is because there are three levels. And that when people are at the survival level of life, they are not different from animals. Yeah. That's when he now started coming out that, for people not to be like animals, we have to take care of the basic need first. That's where all those theories came from. Because you think that somebody is more sophisticated than somebody. No. When everybody faces the same thing, that's when you will know. You have seen people in America going to loot shops. You would think it's only area boy in Nigeria that loot shops. But you see people in America and England, you see people in developed nations that will go and scatter, break shop, be stealing things. It's because when people are at the survival level of life, they are not different from an animal. The instinct, the survival instinct, the animalistic instinct is what will now come out. So number one level of operation for many people is survival level, where all they are thinking of is what to eat, what to drink. Let me just take care of myself. At that point, they are selfish, they are visionless, they are self-centered. They lack what it takes to be a part of something that is beyond them. And when you are operating at that level of life, you see, no matter the message you preach, as we are preaching now, no matter the message you preach, it will still be interpreted based on the level that people are in. When the Bible says the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet, it is many dimensional, multi-dimensional. So if God is to speak to an Hausa man that does not understand English, God will not speak to him in English. God will speak to him in the Hausa language. If he wants to speak, to explain to you what God told him, he will speak to you in Hausa language. Why? Because the spirits of the prophet will be subject to. So if the guy is an illiterate, no matter the revelation that God gives him, when he wants to explain the revelation, he can only explain within the level of his educational qualification. So the spirit will be subject to the limitation. Do you understand that? That's also when you are at that survival level, even when we are preaching, that's the way you are interpreting it. When they are telling you give what, I don't chop, because it's not that you are a bad person, you are just like an animal. You are that level of animalistic behavior where you see, when you now grow, you will look back and say, we're fools, I wish I knew better. That's why we keep trying to help you understand that there is another way of operation. Hello? So number one is survival. The second level is also very terrible, it's success level. So a lot of people, they just want to succeed. They just want to blow. So you find out that when people, by virtue of a lot of conditions that we cannot discuss now, some by sheer happenstance, some by opportunity, some by hard work, some by virtue of all kinds of reasons, find themselves in a place of success. They now enter into that level where it's all about stability, status quo, don't rock the boats. Let's not mess up this thing that is working. So when you get to that second level, it is still not the ultimate of God for you. I hope you know that if you have three things or three levels in a scale and you are on level 2, I hope you know you are in the middle. And the middle is not really a pass mark, it's like 50%. So when you are successful, you have not really entered into the dimension that God wants to be operating in. Then we go to the third level, which is significance. Significance. I've said to you in this house over and over again, the perfect will of God is not to bless you. The perfect will of God is to make you a blessing. So until you come to that place where you understand that being a blessing in my world is the assignment of God for my life, when you come to understand that the reason why you are where you are today is because God wants to use you as a conduit, there are a lot of things you will not be able to experience. I've said it to you over and over again also, that God will not give to you what he cannot get through you. He just wants to check, can I trust this one as a conduit? So these are three levels of operation. Now, when it comes to generosity, you need to understand that the way out of all this is generosity. Now listen, let me tell you this. When you are the survivor level, please listen and listen well. When you are the survivor level and you choose to live a life of impact and significance, even at your level of survivor, that's what brings you out of survivor. That you don't have, but your heart is generous. Now, you don't have money to give, but you have good words. You don't have money to give, but you have time. You don't have words to give, but you have support. Now, as you begin to give what you have, what you don't have will begin to come towards you, because you are now showing that you are qualified to be used. Are you seeing it now? So you see a lot of people, they have money, but they are wicked. They are so poor that all they have is money. Poor in character, poor in attitude, poor in everything, deficient in everything. All they have is money. But you see some people, they don't have any money, but they are more valuable to you than rich people. Because you know that these people will stand by you. When you are down, they are there. Their words are kind. Their support is always there. That's what brings you out. So you need to understand that generosity is a spirit. Generosity is a mindset. Generosity is an attitudinal position that helps you to come out of the low animalistic level of life where all you are thinking is I, me, and myself. When you are not generous, are you ready? It will affect everything about your life. Everything. I hope you know that there are people that are even so stingy that they are stingy to themselves. They won't even know when they'll be stingy to themselves. He said there is a man that gathers and he ends up in poverty. So, but there is another one that scatters and continues to increase. So all through the world, generosity is something that you need to understand is a code for kingdom wealth. Now let's move on. Now, if you're going to become successful, there are different options. Option 1, you can become successful through Babylon or world's way of operation. The Babylon way or the world's way of operation, or you can do it through the kingdom's way or God's way of operation. So you either do it through God's way or through what? The world's way. Now, I want to reel out some words or phrases or sentences. I want to reel them out, and then we'll now start looking at some things one after the other. All these things I want to reel out is just to help you understand how powerful generosity is. Number 1, givers never lack. It's not a slogan. Number 2, it is better to be the giver than the receiver. Because many times we want to be the one receiving. You're always thinking of everybody blessing you. Oh Lord, send destiny helper into my life. How now? As how? Have you helped anybody in your life? Hello? No, it's amazing. Now you heard that somebody's getting married now. They have done the announcement. You're asking for venue. If you are doing wedding, can you feed 3,000 people? You don't need venue, you need an envelope that you go and give. Say, my brother, the Lord bless you. You've been a blessing to us. Every time you minister, you have always been a blessing. This is an opportunity to bless you. This is a seed from my family to you. Then when you now carry a seed to him, he will now say, this is the venue. Go here. This is the venue. The venue. You go and meet the sister, my sister, I didn't know, I've always seen you doing your job and the protocol, this is an opportunity to bless you. Then they will now give you venue. Hello? That's an avenue to get the venue. All right. Everybody breathe in. In. You breathe in for life, you breathe out for sustenance. You cannot continue to breathe in without breathing out. If you are forever receiving without giving, you will soon die. That's the way life is. Breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe. It's life. Giving and receiving. Generosity is life. You will not die. Hello? Do you know that the oxygen that you breathe in is part of what the plants release into the atmosphere? And the carbon dioxide that you breathe out is part of what they take. We are interconnected. It's called the interdependency of life. And it's none of my business. I don't care. Care. Because what you think is none of your business, it is the business. You will suddenly realize that it concerns you. Hello? You know why the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea? It's because it only receives, but it never gives. The Dead Sea, forever receiving, never giving. I cannot afford to give. But the real thing is that I cannot afford not to give. I'm just reeling this house so that you understand that. So corporate social responsibility is a vital reality of today's world for individuals and group. So even when you are just an individual, what we did yesterday now is strange to some people. It was done last year. The church has done, different departments have done all that. One of the things that happened was somebody said yesterday, politics, can you imagine in what way does packing refuse become a political tool to say they want to become politicians? All the governors that you have had in Lagos State that have promised you heaven and earth, have they delivered? Do they need to come and pack those men to get your vote? It just shows you the level of people's thinking. It shows you the level of it. They can't see beyond their nose. Hello? Give your time, your talents, your treasure, and that helps you to make a difference. Give your time, your talents, your treasure, and that helps you to make a difference. So I just wanted to throw that out as we continue on this journey. Now, when it comes to giving and generosity, there are different categories of people, and I think we're going to look at those categories and stop there, and I'll continue next week Sunday, so that you will know where you stand. Generosity, a code for kingdom wealth. Years ago, an Indian idol worshiper who had two kids, two children. One of the child was a disabled child. Is it physically challenged? Or I don't know the politically correct word to use now. I think it's physically challenged now. Right? Physically challenged child, and had one child that was okay. And then she went to consult an idol in the temple, and they told her that she had to offer one of her children for sacrifice. And then she went back home and took the child that was okay, and took to the altar, and they killed the child for sacrifice. And she came back and said, you have a physically challenged child, and you have a okay child. They said you should bring one child. Why didn't you carry the physically challenged one to go and offer to the God so that at least he said, no, I cannot offer to my God what is not okay. Idol worshiper. Yeah, can go and check it online. He said, I can't go and offer to my God something that is not okay. That's somebody offering something to an idol. But you will bring empty envelope to church on Sunday and drop empty envelope. You will dance 5,000 naira dance and drop empty envelope. No, I'm telling you, you just wonder. You will dance. If you see some people's dance, it's dance offering they are giving. No, it's not offering. Dance, you're going to offering. The envelope is empty. The money that Marwa did not collect, the Okada did not collect, the even crooked, corrupt policemen did not collect, is the one you will now put in an offering and bring to God. Your church will sort themselves out. And you wonder why, when it's time for blessing, your name is not on the list, even though your name is blessing. Hello? Now let's look at categories. Number one, pillars. Pillars. Pillars are a set of people in the church, in the kingdom, that are ever present and ever faithful. Pillars, ever present, ever faithful. Anytime there is a need in the house, you can be sure that the pillars will stand. That is why without pillars, no building will stand. Hello? So let me ask your neighbor, are you a kingdom pillar? Or are you a caterpillar? Number two are supporters. Supporters are like supporters club. They love their club and hate other clubs. So they don't love football, they love the club. Hello? When their club is not in the league, they won't watch the game because they are only supporters. They give when they like the pastor. Say, I just like pastor. I like pastor. Oh, yeah, it's pastor. So they are supporters. If pastor is not the one asking for the money, they won't give. Hello? Say, no. Until pastor speaks it. It's when pastor talk, I will listen. All these ones. Because they are not kingdom people, they are supporters club. So they are cliques. They give when they like the project. Hello? If they, do you know that if we say we are doing 30th anniversary now, and we say let's do uniform, they want to do special Ankara, and everybody should bring 30,000. Oh, coffee photo, coffee logo. You will see they will give. But once they say let's give to the less privileged, come, maybe go less privileged. Hello? Am I not your pastor? I know you people now. After 30 years, I know you. Number three, leaners. Leaners. There are people that lean on the church to support all they want, but they will hardly support the church. When people say there is no love in the church, now money, it's not that there's no love, it's because they needed money and church gave them zero. Sometimes when people are asking for money, you see, we have done welfare now. There are people every month, they will show up tomorrow now. Every second week, they come to the church office. Once we do welfare on Sunday, you can guarantee under God, you don't need to be a prophet. Between Monday and Wednesday, they will show up in church. They will have a problem. They target the offering that others are giving, but they have never given to that man. Hello? So at the end of the day, the question is that money you want church to give you, where will it come from? Do angels give offering? So they are leaners. Every time they need help, church. Every time they need money, church. Every time they need support, church. But when church needs them, they are busy. Number 4, they are called special people. Special people, they give on special occasion. They give on what? Special occasion. If it's not a special occasion, they won't give. Number 5, there are annual people. ECN, annual, Easter, Christmas, and New Year. No, it's just special like that. Just come, okay, it's Easter, it's Christmas, it's New Year. So be analyzing yourself. Which one are you? Number 6, sponge. I want coin. Sponge. They come to collect all they can. They hardly give anything. They're like parasites. They collect. Number 7, vagabonds. Vagabonds. They go from church to church without commitment. I hope you know that there are many of you here. The reason why you left your former church is the pledge that you made. No, you made the pledge because you didn't pay. You not came to Calvary. Oh no, God knows you. Even though you have left that church to come here, your vow has not been cancelled. Though you are still owing. I'm telling you, they will not change church. That's why I don't like that pastor anymore. I don't like. They will look for one reason. It's the money they pledge. No, let me tell you something. I was speaking to a pastor. It's this week now. He was explaining, I said, sit down. We don't pay for this work. Don't stress yourself. Human being, if you follow that direction, you will end up in depression in ministry. I say, just focus on God, focus on your work, do what you have to do. Don't look at that or else you enter trouble. Hello? Because human being, they go from church to church. And by the time you will hear the story, instead of them to tell you why they left, they will cook up a story. Because in Yoruba, they will always judge the case in such a way that they will be the good person. Only few people will tell you I was wrong, I messed up. Only few people. Others will tell you no, they did this. There is no perfect church anywhere. I've told you, and there is no perfect church anywhere. Any day you see a perfect church, the day you join them, they become imperfect. Once you join that church like this, perfection is long because you are not perfect. Church is made up of different set of people. So instead of jumping from church to church, looking for perfect church, just connect to the perfect God and be a perfect example. Hello? Connect to what? The perfect God, and you'll be a perfect example. When I got born again in 1988-89, my reason was what I've just told you now. Because when I was an unbeliever, I had girlfriends, even in choir. Teenager, they will sleep our hostel. In the morning, we'll be helping them to do bra. Now on Sunday, they are going for choir. After fornication, or they're in church. So how do you expect me to be born again when many of the people are like, so when I had a I told you, I said, all these people are hypocrites. All these Christians, this one is an hypocrite. It's okay, you may be right that they are hypocrites, but in what way does that make you go to heaven? You don't make heaven because somebody is an hypocrite, and you are right that they are hypocrites. So why don't you come and serve me and be an example of how a Christian should be? Boom. 38 years later, we are still on the journey. Hello? So listen to me. Don't come to church thinking you are looking for perfect people. If you want to clap. Hello? I met with one of my fathers. This was it this week? I think it's this week or last week. And he told me, I've watched you. He said, I watched you, and I've seen the way you speak. He said, the reason why I wanted to see is because I've done my investigation. They have not closed your mouth with corruption. He said, they have not closed your mouth with corruption. He said, don't change. Keep doing what you are doing. We are watching you. Hello? I don't fear you now. I will tell you the truth. I don't have side cheek, left cheek. All the cheeks is one person. So you can't blackmail ladies. There are pastors that cannot tell the way we talk. Because they don't want to get look at it. Go, Actually, you know what I was trying to say? No, I will talk. You are a fool. You are an animal if you are living in sin. Vagabond. They go from what? Church to church. If this is not your church, no problem. But if this is your church, if you allow somebody to take you away from your father's house, you are just a fool. There are no perfect people anywhere. No perfect church anywhere. So you don't jump from church to church to church to church. Are you not even thinking of your children? The lack of stability. Today is this church, tomorrow is that church. What are you even teaching your children about God? Then later, when they now say they are not serving God, you now begin to look for a mountain to go and pray. How can they serve God when you didn't serve them God? Number 8, because of time. The gossip. The gossip. You know, after every service, the pastor is the topic. Hello? I'm a researcher. I research. And one of the reasons why the next generation have issues with God is the existing generation. Because of the hypocrisy. People see that you come to church, we give you microphone, but your children know that you are an hypocrite. No, that's why they don't want to serve God. Because in your son's mind, how pastor they give my papa a microphone? For pastor not to know that my father is a useless man, I doubt pastor. Because pastor foresee say, this is my papa, don't be called papa. Because if they drink, they smoke, but you go conscious now, they go give and title. Pastor no they see. That's why the next generation is not serving God. Because your hypocrisy is making a mockery of the faith. They see you and your wife dancing, hugging all the men of God as normal people. But when you enter car and your children are at the back, you start slicing everybody like sliced bread. You will talk about the choir, you will insult everybody, and your children are sitting at the back and they are watching you. That's why they don't want to serve God. Not because God is bad, but because you are bad. So the gossip, every sin issue is a gossip issue. And which one are they giving against? Maybe the last one we gave, I don't even understand. It's every time, blessing every time I go to raise offering now. This one, even the last one, I never see a vessel, I never even recover. No, that other one. And because of that one, we give, and we come to that, that's it. We say we go post now. Do you know what you are doing? If you open the ground and plant a seed, what do? You cover it and walk away. All you are supposed to do is to water it. When you are a gossiper and a murmurer and a complainer, you are pouring acid on your seed. You are doing what? Pouring acid on your seed. Because what is coming out of your mouth is toxic. The seed will not grow. It's not because the soil is bad. It's because your mouth is bad. Repeat after me. Seed, time, and harvest will not cease. Go and read your Bible. There is nothing called seed time and harvest in real context. No, go and read it. Can you show us Genesis 8? You will see that it's not seed time and harvest. It's really seed time and harvest. Well, don't worry if you can't get it, but seed time. Someone says seed.
Seed.
So the sowing time is what they call seed time. When you sow. But after the sowing, it's not the day you sow that you will reap. So after you sow is seed, which is what we call the seed time, and then harvest. That time in the middle is when you water, is when you fertilize, is when you wait. What you do in that time determines whether you get an harvest. That's where gossipers miss it. You sow, you use your mouth to finish it. Gossip. That's why in this church we have a principle. Whatever you don't understand, what do? Or what? Every Wednesday there's question and answer. There are, in 30 years, nobody has ever come here to ask questions and say, shut up, you can't ask that question. So anything you don't understand, you just keep quiet or you ask questions. Sir, this I don't understand. We explain. Don't join people. How can we be building with one hand and be destroying with another hand? Is that not foolishness? It's like pouring water in a basket now. Number 9, referee. Referee. They are the critic of what, how, and when. I hope you know that you can play football with your mouth. Oh! Okay, go pass. It's until you now enter the field, you now realize that the stadium is actually very big, bigger than your TV set. Because when you look at it from afar, you know, I've told you my glucose story now. Yellow House. Hey, go. You're running late. When I was in secondary school, Omubo Grammar School, Kwara State, Omubo. When people are running, when they now say they'll be giving them glucose, it's called Alebro glucose D or something. It is like when they put it in like powder, well, it go don't melt. All the thing. So they, as a young boy, they were giving them So I say they don't go give me. They say no, it's only for the athletes. It's only for the athletes. I'm an athlete. So Yellow House, that's why I go join. They say which one? They say no. So the one way is 4 by 100. You run the stadium 4 times. 4 by 100. 4 by 4. So, because of course, na glucose I go for it. Now, so I join Yellow House. Olu, hey, they ready. Boom! You know that I didn't know when you are around that kind of, you're supposed to just be. Now, so I go. After a while, my heart was it to be gone. Now so that they passed me. I was about to wrap up the first one. When they finished the entire four, I just fell down. They now brought the good clothes. Glucose. Yellow house. I will never forget. So are you a referee? They should not have collected that offering that time. They should have done it this way, that way. When you start your own church,